New year, new me is something that is a common saying at the start of a brand new year. You want to change your lifestyle, you want to change how you look, how you think, maybe even your job if you wanted to. And I think one Formula One driver is going through that kind of mentality. And of course, we're talking about Sebastian Vettel and his move to the brand new Aston Martin team. Is this going to rejuvenate Sebastian Vettel's Formula One career? Is this going to reignite his reputation? Make him. He's not going to be a meme driver anymore. Spinella, those days are going to be gone. Or are his glory days long behind him? Is this the Sebastian Vettel that we are going to know and going to have around for maybe another couple of years as well? Before we jump into it, guys, if you are new around it, then please like and subscribe to the channel as well. Turn around, trust the ground, all that good thing. It brings you good luck. I promise you that. And quite frankly, you're going to need some good luck, aren't you, guys? So please hit that subscribe button as well. So, Lyle, we are fans of Sebastian Vettel, aren't we? We do like a four-time world champion. We were there in his glory days at Red Bull. His move to Aston Martin is obviously coming off the back of a very disappointing season at Ferrari. We know how bad Ferrari performed in 2020. Charles Leclerc, he had an average performance, obviously a lot better than Sebastian Vettel did, but Vettel, he didn't have a good 2020, he had an average 2019, and in general his time at Ferrari has failed. He went there to win championships. He didn't do any of that. He won 14 races at the team. Not that good. Mission failed. Mission win now. Mission definitely failed. In my opinion. So his move to Aston Martin. What's your thought on this, first of all, before we jump into anything else? When you first seen and heard he was going to Aston Martin, well, Racing Point / Aston Martin, what was your initial thoughts on that? What's your thinking behind that?
Well, at first I thought it was I thought it was a little bit harsh, to be honest. I mean, at this point, the season hadn't started yet because of COVID. It would have been around round 5, I think it was, in comparison. It was going well at Ferrari, and he was challenging for the title in numerous of those years, either against his teammate, either against Lewis Hamilton, well, mainly against Lewis Hamilton, actually. So it was looking good at Scuderia Ferrari, and at this point, they hadn't really hit the bad kind of. They hadn't hit the wall like they had, I would say really, from the summer break onwards, or that summer period onwards, that they had, obviously, with Scuderia Ferrari. They got rid of Sebastian, that was the first thing. That was a bit of a shame. Again, Ferrari, what were they going to do? But I was thinking, Sebastian, he must have just mutually cut things off. It might just be him going into retirement. He's had a very good career, obviously, starting back in 2007. And I saw that he was going to Aston Martin, who, at this point, were Racing Point. The winter testing obviously went ahead, before COVID had really, happened and cancelled the season. The W11, or the W10 talk, or the pink Mercedes was, of course, hitting the rounds. 2 average drivers, and, of course, have bought in Lawrence Stroll took over the team a few years ago from Vijay Mallya and Force India. So it was looking like just an average midfield team, as they were. And Sebastian Vettel, yes, it might have been a good fit for him. Yes, he was going to a midfield team, as you're seeing people like Felipe Massa and Kimi Raikkonen do, of course, 2 ex-Ferrari drivers, 1 ex-Ferrari world champion, of course, in Kimi, going back to Alfa Romeo Sauber, or Alfa Romeo, I should say now. I don't know why I said the Sauber bit. So, yes, that would have been good for Sebastian to do, and I think a few years would have been good for him to stay in Formula 1. But it would have only been to stay in Formula 1. He wouldn't win a World Championship there, Jordan. He wouldn't win races. Again, that's just my thinking. It was a midfield team. And he was doing this just to stay in Formula 1. And I didn't think this was kind of a parallel move to Ferrari. I didn't think this was like a... Because we say mission win now. This could be a mission start over again, or whatever, mission we press the reset button. But it wasn't like that. It's mission get a few points. It's mission stay in Formula 1, let's call it. Mission elderly. But it was not mission win. Now, so Jordan, I was meh. I mean, yeah, what do you... 4-time world champion we were. We went to school, we grew up, I would say, for the Sebastian Vettel dominance era.
We did.
So, yeah. Were you thinking meh like me, or what was your kind of prospects for Sebastian at Red Bull? At Aston Martin, formerly called Racing Point, when he signed for them early last year.
Them Red Bull days are still rubbing off, aren't you, Lyle?
Yes.
But well, when I first heard he was going to, well, Aston Martin, as they are called now. I mean, they were called Racing Point last season, but for the sake of argument, Aston Martin. At first I was a bit okay, all right. This is a bit of a bit of a random turn, I would say. Maybe not a random turn, but I would say a bit of a surprise in my opinion. I thought maybe Vettel would have took a year out or even retired, but I mean, the word from the media was that Vettel was not done with Formula One, but we were thinking, well, Sergio Perez had already signed a 3-year deal, I think just before the 2020 season or even the 2019 season, around that time. And we knew Stroll was going to be there anyway, so we were like, so he's not going to go there, he's not going to go there, he's not going to go to Mercedes. So the only option is for him to have a year out. And then it's announced Perez is going to be leaving Racing Point and Sebastian Vettel is going to be taking his place. And then everyone was like, well, hang on. Vettel has not been performing well in 2020. Perez has been there since 2014. He pretty much saved the team from going into liquidation and going altogether. Perez has been so loyal to that team, and yet you're removing him for Sebastian Vettel. That doesn't make any sense. That's very harsh on Perez. And it was harsh on Perez, and I still agree with this. And with Perez going Red Bull, you could say, well, Perez has got the better deal because he's going further up the grid. And I would say at this moment in time, yes, but what's 2022 going to bring? That's going to be, we'll mention that a little bit later on. But I think in my view, what I said there to you before, Lyle, about is Vettel a washed-up driver? Is his days long gone? In my opinion, I don't think they are. I really don't think so. I think for whatever reason, I think it didn't click at Ferrari. When Arriva Bene was there, I think he brought a good mentality to Ferrari. It nearly worked, not quite. There was a little bits that did slip under the cracks. It did went a bit wrong. But Vettel had a good relationship with Arriva Bene. Once Binotto came in, I think Binotto kind of changed something, and they didn't see eye to eye. And for whatever reason, that kind of alone probably stopped Vettel performing. It didn't help that the car was bad. That's one factor. But you could just tell in interviews, Vettel wasn't happy. He didn't want to be there. Charles Leclerc, he was happy to be there. He was the young pup. He was the one that Ferrari nurtured for quite some time. And I think Vettel knew this. Vettel knew he was not the chosen one anymore. He was not the number one. He was effectively the number two in all this, and he didn't want to play number two. He doesn't want to play a second fiddle. He believes he can win world championships, and he can't do that with Ferrari. He felt like he was messed about, and that's not going to, if you're having that negative mentality, it's not going to perform. You're not going to put the performances from here to here if it's bad, and ultimately that's what it was like, because Charles Leclerc got more out of that car than what Vettel did. And the comparison between those two in the standards does not reflect the driving ability, because I think Vettel has still got it in him. And if you give them two the same car, I think it will be pretty close between Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, given the exact same car that they've got. Did they have the same car in 2020? I really don't know. You can speculate on that. Maybe they did, and I'm completely wrong with this. Maybe they didn't. I honestly, I have no idea. I'm not an insider Ferrari, but the vibes Vettel was giving off, he didn't want to say anything, but he wanted to say, the car is not the same for whatever reason. I'll let you guys to dispute that in the comment section below. Vettel, the knowledge Vettel will bring to the team and the experience he'll bring to Aston Martin, a team that wants to push forward onto the grid. Money can do that, but having advice from someone like Sebastian Vettel, it's going to be better in that department. It's going to be better than Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez has not won a championship. He's won one Grand Prix. I'm not slating Perez here, by the way. I'm just stating facts. And he hasn't been with a championship winning team. Vettel has. In fact, he's been with two of them, but he didn't win anything at one of them. So he'll bring that knowledge and that experience, and it'll almost be like a brand new Red Bull. Red Bull were the young team. They were 4 or 5 years old when Vettel joined them, the top team, weren't they? They were new, up and coming. Aston Martin are new and up and coming. They've got a lot of potential. Red Bull had a lot of potential. And Vettel came in at the right time with the new regulations. He's coming in a year earlier than the regulations. So I think in 2021, it's going to be a slow year for Aston Martin, because their car is going to be effectively 2 years old, because they can't make much development on the car because of the development freezes that they've got in place. They can make little changes here and there, but effectively the car is going to be 2 years old with some minor changes. But for next season, that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key question. That's when our questions are going to be answered. Is Vettel making the right decision here? Should he be going to Aston Martin? Yes or no? We'll find out next season in 2022. If Aston Martin have got it bang on the money, can Vettel still be that driver to win championships? Can he still be the old Sebastian Vettel? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. In fact, in Vettel's famous words, I've got balls, but none of them are crystal. So that was good. That was well timed, wasn't it?
It could be the best thing that he said.
It is the best thing he said.
Oh,
It is so funny. It is. I mean, that was just perfectly timed there, wasn't it? But I think we should, while we're talking about Aston Martin, I think we should also briefly bring in young Lance Stroll, he had an alright 2020, didn't he? He had a good start to the year, then things kind of went wrong. He didn't have a good performance. He had the puncture. Then he caught COVID. Then he got punted out in a race. And then he had the pole position, which didn't really go to plan. But nevertheless, I think Lance Stroll had a pretty decent 2020. So you're the mentality of, well, Vettel's not the driver he once was. Can I see him doing well at Aston Martin? No. But in that case, then, do you think then Lance Stroll will beat Sebastian Vettel in 2021, a driver who has got experience in that car? Because like I said earlier, there's going to be a development freeze. The car's going to be very similar to last year, to what it is this year. So Stroll has that year experience ahead of Sebastian Vettel with this car and with the team. So, do you think Lance Stroll will beat Sebastian Vettel in 2021?
There's a possibility, there really, really is. Obviously, the team, it's a new team name. The team is staying exactly the same. It's very similar to Alpine. It's Renault at heart. Obviously, we've just learned that Cyril Abiteboul has left the team. As of now, we don't know who's going to be in charge of the team, but it's probably being released. Obviously, when this video comes out, or maybe even later. But apart from that, it's still going to be the same team. There's still a French team. They're still based over here in Enstone. They still have the same employees, things like that. It's very similar to Aston Martin. They were still Racing Point. They're still based in Silverstone. Me and Jordan have been to the factory, and the thing is, we always will have been to the factory as well, John. So we went to the Force India factory in 2017, but we went to the Racing Point factory. Then we went to the Aston Martin factory. So Sebastian Vettel, you've been to the factory at Silverstone. So have we. Hit us up. You know the drill. There's a possibility for sure. Obviously, when Charles Leclerc came into the team at Ferrari, I think Sebastian probably didn't really think that there was much of a chance, much of a battle there. But of course, then there was. 2019, it was close. I think Charles Leclerc had the lead on him in that year. And then, of course, 2020, he obliterated him. It is the car, yes. And in terms of what John said there about, in terms of how the car's made, it's hard to say. I really don't know. Again, as John said there, I have balls, but none of them are crystal. So I don't know, who had the favour in the car and who had the team really. Who had the team in their grasp. And again, as I say that, I also that's kind of what I mentioned in one of our other videos about Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, who will be world champion. So obviously go and check that out if you haven't already. That is a game where I talk about will Charles Leclerc have 100% control in the team. Did he have that in 2019? And did he have that in 2020? And again, I know they're not a championship winning team. And yes, there will be close. That's what a lot of people, of course, are saying. And if they do have the Mercedes production line, if they do have the Mercedes internal combustion engine, of course they're going to be at the front or near in the front. I think for the consensus I've been seeing is a lot of people are saying that they're going to finish in third place in the championship. Obviously, whitewashing Ferrari, battling Red Bull, but not that close. They'll still be obviously fighting off teams like McLaren, obviously who will be, building themselves up again. But I'd say that's the consensus I've been seeing. Mercedes, Red Bull, Aston Martin, and McLaren in the constructors for this year. Again, obviously, let us know what you think, and our prediction video will be coming out very soon. Maybe Sebastian will be underprepared. Do you think that's a possibility that he maybe thinks he can walk Lance Stroll and he can walk the team? Because he probably thinks he can be number one driver, and he probably thinks he'll have everything at his disposal. But it might not work like that. And again, I would say that very much like Ferrari did. He came into there and he thought he could have everything at his disposal. Maybe it worked for a few years when he had Kimi along with him. Pretty much a passive teammate, a guy who didn't really chuck up any fuss, Yeah. And then obviously you got Charles, and he was like, no, this isn't working like this. So maybe Lance is going to be like a Charles Leclerc. Maybe he's going to say no. Maybe Aston Martin they're not going to be as free as Red Bull Racing did, or maybe Ferrari at the start. They're going to say, Sebastian, no, this is how it works in this team. Lance is number one. And Sebastian's not ready for that. So, do you think the possibility of Sebastian being underprepared is a possibility?
I think Vettel will be going in there I would think that he's going in there to help the team to push forward for himself and learn, well, probably off Lance, and Lance can learn of him. I think the days of Vettel being the I'm the number one driver days, like he was at Red Bull, how arrogant, ignorant he was. We've seen that in Malaysia 2013. He ignored team orders loud and clear. I think those days of Vettel are gone. I really do think that. He worked well alongside Kimi Raikkonen. They worked well as a team. Raikkonen, quite not on Vettel's level, you could say. But nevertheless, it would have worked. It just, there was some factors as reasons why it didn't work. Then when Charles Leclerc came into the team, Vettel kind of sort of didn't do as well as what Charles Leclerc did, in comparison for whatever reason. And was that because Charles Leclerc was the better driver that time? You probably could, which probably brings back to the argument I said before about who would win in an identical car. Then you could argue, well, it was already answered for you because they probably had an identical car in 2019, and Charles Leclerc beat Sebastian Vettel fair and square. So you could say, well, yeah, all right, fair enough. That's a valid point. It is. But I don't think Vettel will have that mentality of you think he'll walk Lance. I really don't. I really, really don't. I think he will want to go there to win ultimately, and he will want to go there to beat Lance. Of course he does, because that's like I said earlier, that is the goal, to beat your teammate. But I also think you want to help Lance develop as a driver, and I think Lance learning off Sebastian Vettel will be, there's probably a handful of drivers you want to learn off. Hamilton's one of them, and the other driver is probably going to be Sebastian Vettel. The experience he's got, the quality he's got. People think Vettel's a bad driver. He really isn't. He's a 4-time world champion. He's third in the all-time win listings. You know what I mean? He's an incredible driver. He's just lost his way in recent years. And I think a move to Aston Martin will hopefully bring back the old, or have glimpses of the old Vettel once again. And maybe, just maybe, we can see a return in form for Sebastian Vettel. Maybe, just maybe, a world champion. In fact, actually, let's end with that, Lal. Let's end with this question. Do you believe, at any point, doesn't matter what team he's at, well, it does matter what team he's at, but I mean, if he's got a really good car around him, can Vettel win another championship? Or do you think that not a chance? Doesn't matter where he goes. Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston Martin, McLaren, he's not going to win another championship. He has not got it in him anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to say no, because of the amount of talent that we have on the grid right now. Now, again, we talked about World Championships before. It's not going to be one apiece. It's not going to be one Russell, one Norris, one Verstappen, one Leclerc. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton is still in the mix. At time of recording, we do hope something has sorted out, but obviously, I'm not going to go into Hamilton too much because he might have re-signed. He might not have. Yeah. We might be looking at George Russell. But, there is obviously going to be challenges for the World Championship, and hopefully it will go, one apiece for a very long time, but I just don't feel like it will do that. It'll keep bands from different person to different person. We have so many big names at the moment. Sebastian is a strong driver, but look at when he won the World Championship. He was in his early 20s. It was ridiculous how young he was, and obviously at that point we thought there was never going to be anyone as young as Sebastian Vettel winning it. We had people like Lewis before. Lewis was the youngest before Sebastian, and that was young. And then Sebastian came along, and it was ridiculously young. 2010, he won it, and it was like, that's absolutely insane. I mean, that's bad. I mean, how old? 18, I think he was. It was ridiculous, absolutely insane. And that's when he did it. It's been a very long time since that. He's had very good runs in the car. He's a very consistent driver. And of course, as John said, that he is one of the best. But I don't feel like he's going to win another World Championship. So, Jordan, do you think he will win another World Championship, either with Aston Martin or somewhere else? Or do you agree with me and you think it'll go to one of the young guys, and the young guys only in F1?
Yeah, I think it all depends on the situation, doesn't it? It depends what car Vettel has got. It depends what his rivals have got as well. And you do make a good point there about the young talent coming through, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, good old Bottas now and again. Like, if they've got really good cars, is Vettel going to be able to compete with them? You don't know. I would like to think Vettel can win another championship, but it all depends on the circumstances. At this moment in time, I would also say no, that he won't, but Mercedes might crumble in 2022. Aston Martin might be the front-running team. I mean, who'd have thought Braun would have been champions in 2009? Who'd have thought Mercedes would have made the jump that they did in 2014? You know what I mean? It's all guessing right now, and that's where all our answers are lying on in 2022. All the questions that we've asked in recent years, and even in today's episode, all of them will be answered probably about maybe round 4, round 5 in 2022, where we do see where teams are, where drivers are, who's at what team at that given point. Is Hamilton going to be there? Is Russell in that Mercedes? Is Verstappen a Red Bull? And yeah, what's going down with the other teams? Is Vettel even in Formula One? Who knows? Because he can easily walk after 1 year. He might not feel right and ready enough to be able to be at Aston Martin. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that front. But guys, we'll end it here. Thank you so much for watching as always. And of course, comment below your opinions about anything that we've said in today's episode. It could be a very tricky one in the comment section below. We do have Vettel fans on the channel. We don't have Vettel fans on the channel as well. So yeah, variety opinions, loads of variety of opinions that we do get from time to time. So comment below, we'll read them. Love reading through your comments as well. And yeah, looking forward to see what you guys have to say as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said earlier, please like and subscribe as well, and comment below your opinions. Watch what you're doing, stay safe as always, and until next time guys, we'll see you later.
See you later guys.